Everyone and welcome to Obedient Family TV. The program now Hope Alive. Plenty hope day for Nigeria, and we are moving to a Nigeria that is really possible for everybody to live in peace and harmony. Now that one we carry come this today on a good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever they watch out from, depending on our time zone. Make we enter today, we no get time to kill, and I know say since on Friday we no show face. Yes, but today now we dey make we go straight to the point. Plenty things they happen, but we go make them short. As we dey go on, we hear the thing where they happen for Plateau State, and plenty of our people they talk as protests. They happen for that very side. Plenty youth when be said and there for Plateau State, and they talk say we no go gree, we no go gree. But wetin we dey talk for our own for this very place, sake of say this governor Caleb Muftwang, dem warn am say that very appeal court don already sell him mandate. Dem warn am whether na true or na lie, but the important thing be say dem warn am. We go carry that one come. We get other things wey be say dey happen with this APC government, as APC wan make all the states for inside Nigeria to become APC by fire, by force. And their plan against 2027, make we dey reason am well. That one they come again. Then we get plenty other things wey be say we go talk inside studio. When we go take us time and the people wey be say then they follow me to talk all these things. I get Esther for studio, and I get Princess where they follow us talk for this hour.
Yes, so hello my good people, my well-meaning, obedient and wonderful well-meaning Nigerians. My people, don't carry our kaya come back today again. No, another judicial coup in Plateau State. The evil and criminal gangs in power, the APC, is just clearing everywhere with the help of the judiciary. My people, still on this matter, we go bring you as a number two INEC select vice president don tell graduate for convocation say we do not have jobs for you. Anyway, we have lots and lots of more to discuss. Welcome and join us.
Greetings to all well-meaning Nigerians and fairly obedient worldwide. Welcome back to Hope Alive. Judiciary officials are ordinarily not politicians, but it's only in Nigeria that they immerse themselves in the power of politics, and thereby making it impossible to avoid elements of machinery, which has become a trend in this APC government. And also joining us, we will be talking about the lots of spending that Lagos states have been going on in their procurement of the Lagos states, and it's alarming. Well, join us as we discuss.
Yes, plenty things wey be say we go discuss for inside this one, as Princess don highlight say Sanwo-Olu of the governor of Lagos State, then don expose them with plenty money where then they allocate only perfume, na millions of naira, then they buy perfume. We will get into that very one. But first, make we start with wetin dey happen for Plateau State, because a lot of people know they understand really say that man dem warn am. Yes, Jackson dey warn am, and as he warn am, he carry insult put for inside Jackson head. Instead of making for check or investigate wetin the man dey allege, he begin dey talk say make dem find am, make dem go arrest am. But make e no be say na we dey talk am for here. Make we read how that their tweet take, as dem take exchange gbas for inside Twitter. Make we see am as e take be. Jackson dey first bring the attention of wetin wan happen for Plateau State, make everybody know. And I go read them out as in take tweet am. He said, appeal court judges receive $5 million bribe money to sack Plateau governor. That one na from Jackson Ode. Before this sacking, na him write this thing. Now he said, former Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State and current Minister for Labor has shared $5 million to Justice Dawodu, Justice Akam, and Justice Waziri to sack Governor Caleb Muftwang of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and declare the All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate Natewe Iwada Goshe winner of the 2023 governorship election. Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajabiamila, National Security Advisor NSA Nuhu Ribadu, and Minister for Labor Simon Lalong met after the lawyers' conference meeting in Abuja on Thursday and mandated Lalong to deliver the cash. Lalong immediately got into a private jet with Justice Waziri, who is on the panel, and flew to Lagos, where the money was delivered to the judges at the Marriott Hotel. The APC government is bent on returning Plateau State. Now, so then take talk. Now, Esther, we no go get time make we begin the West. Yes. This one a serious allegation. But if you see on Thursday, and I begin to talk this thing now, you understand me? Yes. And in talk as then take informant because you know they're Nigerian, as he take get the information. Yes. Now you relate them. You understand me? What do you think?
Anyway, the thing be say he don't get first hand if warning, but he was he was nonchalant about it. He was trying to defend the corrupt APC, and he was trying to defend the judiciary, saying no, this cannot be. Not in fact, he was forgetting that these APC people, they are in fact they are not.
You are talking about Caleb's reaction.
Yes, I'm talking about his reaction. He was nonchalant about it. Okay,
let's get to Caleb's reaction. Caleb looked at who is the governor that this Jackson they don't reveal or don't already bring the information where he can carry give. Now this man come right as when I see him for screen say, I wish to strongly condemn the baseless and defamatory allegations circulated by certain individuals accusing judges of receiving a $5 million bribe for the nullification of my victory. I have demanded for thorough investigations by security agencies to identify and apprehend those responsible for the libelous publication. There is a need to ensure that this individual face the full consequences of the law with a view to setting precedent that discourages this kind of misconduct. Now, coming to you, Princess, we have heard him. He's saying he condemned it and is asking these people to now react. Now, what is your take based on the fact that he was given this information and he did not even try to investigate the information that he was given to? Rather, he's asking the agencies to prosecute people that obviously is Jackson and he's not in Nigeria, so they can't obviously prosecute him or find him to arrest him if the message was wrong. Now that the message seems to be somehow allegedly correct or not correct, what do you have to say about this?
As much as I feel for him right now, for what's going on with him now in Plateau State, I also feel like he put himself in what's going on now. Because for someone to give you such information, even if I'm pretty sure he reacted that way because he felt that after the tribunal gave the judgment in his favor, he didn't see any need for them to go back against it again. Do you understand? But he forgot, or he's forgetting that these people don't care about you. They only care about the power they emand. They don't care about the people. None of that is their concern. They only care about their pockets and their money. So if anything good comes to them, they will take it and leave you. And I feel like that's what's going on now. With what Jackson said, he disregarded it, and now he's in the mess that he's in. And he's now crying out for everybody.
Okay, let's take a look at what Jackson Ude had to respond to Caleb Muftwang, saying he wants it to be investigated and arrested. And he said, finally, goodbye, Caleb Muftwang. I warned you. Few days ago, I made a post to alert you that the desperate APC has paid 5 million in bribes to judges to remove Caleb Muftwang as governor of Plateau State. I had descriptions of how the funds were paid through former governor Samson Lalong. Few minutes after the post went viral, the Dumbo Muftwang, who think he is doing the judiciary a favor, countered the post and asked security agencies to investigate me. I don't know what Muftwang was doing 27 years ago when I started as a political reporter. I know this game enough to tell. While I had no sympathy for his naivety, I want the APC to take over all the PDP states. The PDP governors are the most useless set of governors I have ever seen in my reporting/writing politics since 1996. No tact, no strategy, no finesse, no charisma, absolutely nothing. And they wear the biggest abada with no brains. I want Muftwang, but he will rather dance with the devil. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Now, coming back to you, Esther. This is Jackson O'Day. Of course, obviously, he's very furious with what this action of this man, instead of investigating the allegations that he had of the 5 million bribe money, instead of investigating it, he's asking the authorities to arrest him. Somebody that even in his own heads as a governor would have told him that this man that wrote this thing is in America, you can't even arrest him. You understand?
Yeah, that was why I said he was nonchalant, because the information came beforehand. Like, but he thought he was trying to play along with the APC and the dead judiciary. Now, forgetting that the APC, they are not, in fact, they have not come to play with anybody at all.
Exactly.
They just want to dominate the system.
They want to take over the whole state.
They want to turn Nigeria. They want to capture. In fact, their plan is to capture Nigeria to become a one-party state.
Yes. Okay,
that's what they want to do.
Let's take reactions from our obedience on X. We have Wemi here who said, just like Caleb Muftwang, the Plateau State governor was sacked and APC declared APC candidate winner. He said, this is a clear sign that APC is slowly converting Nigeria into a one-party system. APC will use the court to achieve that goal. Welcome to New Nigeria. That is from Wemi. Yeah. Anyway, our people, we talk say we no go they stay too much for each of these things. We will just bring something to now as the thing they come. Princess, I see say Oma they do muy.
Yes, as you were saying, it just reminded me of one video. What's his name again? Yusuf. He was saying, I think it's during a rally. Yes. He was saying that they should come to court, that we will know who they know and they will know who we know. Yes. You can imagine the certainty, the confidence he has within him to be saying that, showing you that there is a backup in his mind that he has something is going to happen.
I think I seem to understand that very video where one man was either he was in a campaign ground APC, or something,
yes.
And he was telling them that let them go and meet in Supreme Court. Yes. That when they meet there, they will know who knows somebody better.
Exactly.
And knowing somebody means you have a lot of money that you have given to those people. You understand? Yes. That is my own classification. Let's take a listen to the video. With that very one, go know, make other people know say no we they talk. I'm here now. Waiting they talk now with the carry come. We no go take. We'll come back now.
Law, we have gone to appeal court and the final destination is the Supreme Court and we will meet there. That is when we will know whom they know and they will know whom we know.
So now don't hear Yusuf of APC. He don't tell Caleb Muftwang, the governor of Plateau State, say, make them go Supreme Court. He said when they get to Supreme Court, them go know which person sabi person pass. And to sabi person, those people where they are from the judgment where they don't they show, since we know say if they know see catch them or coin or whatever you want to call it. I know talk say then they collect bribe. And you know hear am from my mouth. Me, I no go use this my mouth. Talk say Supreme Court of Nigeria they collect bribe. I no go use my mouth talk am. But that man talk say them and the governor Muftwang of Plateau State say them go meet for Supreme Court and then go know who no person pass. If una know that one, make una own comment for comment section. But for here, we no talk say then collect bribe. You know here and for our mouth. The 5 million when them talk say them give appeal court justice to sack Governor Muftwang. Not the also we no talk say them collect them. But guess what? Make your own comment for inside. What do you think for comment? It go better for inside comment section. With that very one, make we even hear waiting their lawyer talk why they sack them just for 1 minute. Why they sack them from that court? Because the lawyer talk say it don't even make sense waiting them talk. That's why I dey suspect that 5 million alleged bribe. Let's take a listen.
On behalf of the third respondent, that's the PDP, the judgment was not unexpected because we've seen the line of decisions of this particular panel. It should be noted that Plateau State is the only state where a dedicated panel was made available for all their appeals. In other jurisdictions, in other states, panels are set up for individual appeals, but in respect of Plateau State, this panel was set up and they are trying all the appeals. They are hearing all the appeals from Plateau State, which of course raises an issue of whether this is in line with the procedure adopted by the court. Another issue we find wrong with the judgment is that the lower tribunal, the trial tribunal, actually dealt with a petition that raised issue of invalidity of nomination and sponsorship of second respondent as the governor of Plateau State. But on appeal, and they found that his nomination was valid. On appeal, the appellants actually formulated grounds that restricted themselves to the issue of sponsorship. And we raised the issue that what is being had in this court is different from what the tribunal had. The tribunal had a case of nomination and sponsorship and made a finding on it. Appeals are by way of rehearing. You cannot make a case and the tribunal tries a case at the lower tribunal based on one or two issues, and you come to the Court of Appeal and you change the game. We all know that consistency is the name of the game when it comes to litigation. Now, we drew attention of the appeal court to this fact that they have changed their case. Their case is no longer nomination and sponsorship, but sponsorship. Today in the judgment, we did not hear anything about nomination. Everything that was said in this court today was about sponsorship. And of course, we know that when you mention sponsorship, it could be pre-election or post-election. But when you talk about nomination, the courts do not have any jurisdiction to entertain it as a post-election matter. And so what we had today is not what we went through at the tribunal. We wait to see the judgment so that we will do the needful. But we thank their lordships for their industry. At least they came up with something. And we also prayed them to release the judgment so that we will study the judgments and come up with our grounds of appeal, because we know that our clients have given us the go-ahead to appeal this judgment. It is sad that a day like this has come, because we know that much as the governor has an opportunity to test this judgment at the Supreme Court, the members of the House of Assembly that are with him cannot go beyond this court. And so the untimely death that they met here cannot be appealed, cannot be tried upstairs. And so it's sad, but we thank God for today. Thank you.
Sir, you are counsel to the PDP.
Yes.
One of the grounds for modifying the election was that your party lacked structure. Given the state of affairs in the PDP,
I did, under adumbration, say to the court that the tribunal found that there was a repeat Congress. It's a finding, that's number one. And assuming without conceding that there was no structure, you cannot put the cart before the horse. In paragraph 4A of the appellant's reply to second respondent's reply to the petition, they said that the nomination and the sponsorship of the second respondent, as the governor of Plateau State, is invalid by reason of those court orders.
So if then they speak grammar, we don't hear from the PDP and the governor Muftwang counsel. And the thing they say, it thing just they make me they laugh. Why? It talks make them go test the judgment for Supreme Court. Now test, they won't go test them. Like say then they test this thing. Where they know say as just know they don't talk. Plenty something don't pass under the table. I know talk saying a bribe. So and when I hear as Inte talk, I mean talk say then they shift goalpost. Instead of talking about nomination, they begin the talk waiting. Sponsorship. So they shift goalposts in the middle of the game. You waiting then talk for the trial court, then come begin they talk another thing, and still the court did not find anything wrong with it. So Jackson Ude may be correct. I know talk say then collect bribe. You understand me?
Yes.
Because Nigerian judiciary know they collect bribe. They are very law abiding. But maybe we quickly come out as we talk about money. Maybe we talk how money they misroad for Lagos State. As someone who don't already turn Lagos State to become cash minting states, where then they collect money from anywhere. But make we see wetin Funso Doherty as he take report and una go here as he take talk am. But make we start with this one for him tweet. He said, I just wrote an open letter to the governor on public procurement and was reported by Lagos State government for the second and third quarter of 2023, highlighting a number of issues for further scrutiny and remedial action. Judicious use of public funds is always important and is essentially so now that we are actually bankrupt. And this one, now the letter where he just write 2 days ago to Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State. And he make them as open letter, make everybody see what's in the right inside. If we begin to read them, if it plenty. But the things when we say, if they follow and they say, the budget when they don't already begin to roll out money for. If when I hear what's in there, when they use millions and billions to buy, when I go just the hunger will catch you for inside room, go just some assault times 2 of waiting to happen. Common princess, waiting then talk say then turn air freshener. Now how many million then talk say them buy air freshener for Lagos State?
It's not 3.5. 3.5 million.
3.5 million for air freshener. If you go market, maybe that kind of one and they buy 2,500 naira.
I don't know whether not for Paradise and producing air freshener.
Okay, it's 7 point.
7 point something. Now won't confuse me. Replacement of liquid fragrance in the office of Mr. Governor, Lagos House, Ikeja, 7,475,000. Make we just call them 7.5 million. Now somebody get this award. I want because I want make una find the person where they award to replace liquid, fragrance, perfume. When they Babajide office, this one are number 1. Make we check other things so we say it dey follow because this man talk it come out plenty things so we say it dey there. If we begin to open them people went there for Lagos no go fit sleep for night. If then see waiting then they carry taxpayers' money to do. This one na Maurice Moyen I talk this one. He say spending 2 billion naira to supply rechargeable fan. Oh la la. Rechargeable lights and fridge for office of deputy governor is a grand theft auto. Now that's both Lagos people they see. Then go tax them when we say then catch your motor 70,000. Then go impound them. Then go sell an auction to themselves. He said, Momo said, this is very, very criminal. Do you know what 2 billion naira is? Me might never see 2 billion naira. You see? So, several things that have gone wrong. Princess, let's see your reaction on this.
Like, this is the reason why they fight like tooth and nail, day and night, to make sure that they get this power. Because look at what they are doing with the power that has been given to them. Even for those that steal and those that, you know the drill in this country now. Like, this is what they do. This is the reason why people die during election. A lot of things are going bad in this country. This is the reason. How can you tell me it's not even reasonable that you are saying you spent 2 billion naira on rechargeable fans? Is it from heaven? Like, what are they turning this country into? All the funds are being like allocated to useless things that does not make any sense, and the people are suffering. Can you imagine what happened to education? the medical system, like a lot of things that need these funds, and they are allocating it to useless things.
Yeah, Esther, you know, coming to you now, you know that PO has said countlessly that is this criminality that we need to deal with in Nigeria. Yes. Wasteful spending is what has put us where we are today. Exactly. We are talking about the yacht that they went to buy, the luxurious vehicles that they went to buy, they think that we are attacking them. Of course, we're opposition and we are to react, you understand? But the point, I want you to look at it from the perspective of the people of Lagos State, their taxpayers' money, how they are wasting it, not just because they are enriching themselves. That contract is being given to their proxies, you understand? How do you think a Lagosian feels when they hear this kind of money for perfume, 7 point something, then for rechargeable fan, 22 billion, 2 billion. Jesus Christ.
Of course, this is one of the reasons why we are advocating for a new Nigeria, because in the new Nigeria that Mr. P2B has talked to us about, all these wastes are going to be cut down to a very minimal rate, because wasting of taxpayers' money on irrelevant things. What is rechargeable for? What is perfume?
You won't even allow that. Let's take some of our obedient. We have Spotlight Abby who said Nigerians were crying about 160 million for each senator. Meanwhile, a vehicle of 440 million was procured as one of the pool cars for the office of the Chief of Staff to the Lagos State Governor. Just one of the pool cars. The wicked indifference stinks as much as the criminal misconduct of these guys. But Kudos believes that the Emeka that is hustling inside the Ladipo market is his problem. That is what we now think. But anyway, we talk saying we not go kill too much time for this one. We get Miss Pierce who said, okay, even following that 10, he says so. Oyo State itself is also purchased 55 fire extinguishers for 43.5 million. 55 fire extinguishers. Not this fire extinguisher when they do whether na 10,000 naira, 15,000 naira. No. Then they talk say 43.5 million mean each cost 790,000 naira. Oh my God. We missed PO. We missed P2B in Nigeria. Now, what is the actual size of the extinguishers? This is Ms. Pierce asking now. At this rate, we need everyone who has access to publish their state public procurement budget for 2023. We need to critically scrutinize every state, including FCT. She said, I am already looking at Imo, Abia, and Anambra. Yes, let's start checking all those things. These people don't kill us finish. Which kind of thing be this one? We got plenty of our people will be said and they talk, but as we talk, say we no one kill time for all of this so that we will be able to bring you details of this thing. Let's even hear how PO, His Excellency P2B, said how we are going to deal with these things. We missed P2B in Nigeria. Let's take a listen from him.
Problem of Nigeria rests purely on leadership. It is bad leadership that is the problem of Africa. It has nothing to do with colonialism. We were colonized years ago. Today, it is African leaders that have turned Africa into a gigantic criminal enterprise. And I'll give you an example. Let me use this university. Let me use this university to give you an example of the problem we face in our country. This university, if you're employed here, you work hard for several years to be a professor. And if you're a professor in this university, your salary is 400,000 naira. And if they pay you without spending your money for 30 years, your salary will amount to 144 million, which is not up to what we used to buy a car for a legislator in Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria. the problem of Nigeria. That is number one. Number two, this university where you are, the overhead they give to the vice chancellor from federal government of Nigeria is about 10 million naira. So in 1 year, they will get about 120 million naira. They have over 500 professors, over 4,000 lecturers, over 40,000 students. They get 10 million naira, 120 million naira a year. So 5 of the universities like this will get about 600 million naira annually, which if you convert to dollar today, is about 500,000 naira. That is what we use to go to a meeting of United Nations for 1 week. It's unacceptable. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is the problem of Africa. We can afford to do that with less than 10%. So it's squarely on our destiny. So I thank you for being part of this crusade. I'm sure our governor, every other person, we are part of this crusade.
Okay, on a don hear our PO, they break and down na criminality. Now waiting they happen everywhere. APC has done what we call a state capture. That nobody is even talking. Citizens are just docile. Nobody won't talk anything. When you no fit even talk, now only us go to talk. We are the opposition, and you can talk from wherever you are. Let's condemn this act that is happening. Look at all this thing. Poor leadership, not colonialism. It's Africa's problem. Anyway, we don't, not be only us they talk this, make you not be say not just us. Yes, we are the opposition as they talk, but at the same time, we know what in the happen. VP don't go for uni, what in the column, med, that is Medugri. Go tell all the youths where they in Nigeria say they no get job. So if you do 5 years finish, spend all that money. When federal government they collect 40% from your tuition money and all that, then they go still tell you say no job. They don't even create enabling environment. Then go talk say make you begin to do entrepreneurship. Then know what in the entrepreneurship. Then know when which environment they provide. We go help people for entrepreneurship. These people, if PO, oh, we miss PO. We really miss PO. But look, we see waiting our own contemporaries for mainstream media. Then they condemn the same thing. Make we hear that. Then we go hear the main talk of this financial dialogue, the way we take dissect this whole thing. Let's go straight to that very conversation of today. Straight to that conversation of today, where Funsho Williams explained in details what is happening in Lagos State and how Lagos State is embezzling funds, public funds. Let's take a listen.
2023 governorship candidate of the Action Democratic Congress in Lagos State has criticized the governor of the state over public procurement awards in the second and third quarters of 2023, highlighting a number of contracts for further scrutiny. In a post on X, Doherty wrote an open letter to Sanwo-Olu appealing for the judicial use of public funds, especially in the face of the current economic realities. Well, according to him, the approval of 2 billion naira for rechargeable fans, lights and fridge for the office of the deputy governor, as well as 18.5 million naira awarded to the office of the chief of staff to the governor for the supply and distribution of 2,000 chickens across local government areas of the state calls for further explanation. Other awards includes a new bulletproof vehicle worth 440 million naira for the office of the chief of staff and 531 million naira for the renovation of an Anglican church, Well, the governorship candidate also questioned why the state will be renovating a religious center with taxpayers' money. There is more, Dr. Abati. I believe you guys took this in the business segment. He also questioned the allocation of 12.4 billion naira for the consultancy fees for the Lagos Megacity project and construction of bus corridors in selected locations across the state.
Tweets, because as of last check, it has 7 million views. So it went viral over the weekend. Everyone's been talking about it. Now, this isn't the first time that you are writing to Lagos State. So why do you think this caught fire the way it did?
So it's interesting, and it's not always easy to understand what resonates with folks. But I think I would highlight in this case maybe 3 things. I would say first is that it touched a raw nerve, right? So people are in a very difficult place economically. They are being asked to make all sorts of sacrifices that maybe they have not had to make before. And they're daily being enjoined to, bear with the current circumstances and that things will get better and so on. So it seems jarring when they are faced with, things that look like evidence of non-judicious use of expenditure by the leaders. I think the second thing is that, it is very specific, because this is information. Generally we talk about, non-judicious use of funds, and it's like a general thing. But here people are presented with very specific information about specific, contract awards and things that they can relate to and they can touch. They are relatable. So it's interesting that, some of the things that have generated the most comment are not even the numbers that are sort of in the big billions, but just numbers that when you look at the amount, it may just be a few million, but when you look at it in relation to the item, people can easily relate and say, this
like the 7 million for diffusers, fragrances.
Yeah. So what can we say? And then finally, I think people are they get involved. Right, so some people have gotten in there, gone to the website and tried to get more information themselves, and even come up with things that are not part of what we did. Because we focused on just the second quarter and the third quarter, and people have gone and looked more broadly and identified, for example, that the state paid for legal expenses for the governor in supporting in defending a political case and so on and so forth. So things that we didn't touch on have sort of come out in the discourse. So I think that engagement is also feeding, some of this.
What do you make? I mean, as you mentioned, there's a procurement website where everyone can see this. These are basic things, but Dr. Abati was saying on the morning show this morning that since some of these things are basic but they're not done, there's a window to commend the states. Budget ranked Lagos 14th as far as fiscal transparency is concerned. Lagos didn't make the top 10. What do you make of that? Is that a basic thing that you should not be commending the state for putting this information on your website?
Look, I would say, maybe yes and no, right? And why do I say that? Yes, you can say, well, maybe not all states are doing it and Lagos is doing it and therefore you might commend them. But let's not forget that this is in pursuance of or pursuant to a law, actually, the Public Procurement Agency law. And that law actually requires that significant government contracts be published, right? So in effect, government is complying with its own law. So should we commend the government for being law-abiding? Maybe. But what does that say about our expectations of government? You and I are expected to be law-abiding. The people don't come and commend us for being law-abiding every day, right? So in that sense, I think part of the issue is that we have come to have very low expectations, right? And things that are our rights, we are seeing them as privileges. And in that sense, we as, the governed are contributing to the problem.
Look, there's too much of this to go through. I just wanted to get some of your thoughts because you dug up so much. The consultancy fees, for instance, I think it's AEC is one of the companies you mentioned. There are a lot of other consultancy fees there to the tune of billions. The bulletproof Lexus for 470 million, the governor's BMW motorcycle convoys, 14 of them, 36 million, a swimming pool for the deputy governor in his residence for 10 million. What would you want to hear from the Lagos State government as far as, because I know your notes specifically said more transparency, more details, some of them should be, as we see all these figures, what do you want to hear from the state? Because we've extended an invitation for them to respond. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I think for me, and it's not just about me, I think, you know, they need to explain to the people. You know, when you see the comments, it's not as if we manufactured any information or what. This is just basic data that we put out. And when you look at the reaction of the people, I mean, any responsible government will know that it has touched a nerve and needs to respond to the people. And where there's need for explanation, where there's need for justification. But more importantly, I think a couple of things. One is that there should be improvements and it should be a continuous improvement exercise anyway, but there should be improvements in the procurement process. One of the points which I made, and you alluded to the fact that I had written on procurement before. I wrote on that pursuant to a letter which I had written at the time of the, you know, the mass burial.
Yes.
And I said that in that letter that was leaked revealed certain things about the procurement process. And I wrote a follow-up letter to say that the procurement agency gets an admin fee on each of the procurements, and that was a conflict of interest and would affect their independence and their objectivity. And I think there's some evidence of that in some of what we are seeing. So I think that it's important that these structural things, which create incentives for people not to do the right thing, are removed, right? And ultimately, what I expect the government to do is to make the right decisions, judicious use of public funds, always in the public interest, and to govern in the interest of the people. And in the long run, the fruits of those actions will be revealed in the lives of the people.
I want to ask you about cost of living in Lagos State. If you look at the latest inflation figures, it's above the nation, right? I was talking about this with someone, and the pushback I got was, well, it's the commercial capital. If you look at New York or London or Accra, well, what's your? Should we expect that cost of living should be this high, or can it be brought down?
Well, I mean, so that the cost of living is higher in a capital city or a financial center than the rest of a nation is not an unusual circumstance. And, you know, if we had a situation where, for example, cost of living in Lagos was marginally higher than cost of living in Ibadan, for example, but the average person could have a reasonable standard of living, I don't think anybody would be complaining.
Okay.
Right? I think the issue is that because of the actions and inactions and the outcome of governance over the years, we are in a situation today where people's standards of living, rather than going up, are actually declining. And even when you measure over an extended period, as long as a generation, which is 30 years, many people will tell you that they are much worse off today than they were 30 years ago. That we may have taller buildings, we may have a few bridges that we didn't have or whatever, but that people's quality of life, standard of living, right, the things that they can afford comfortably, the healthcare, the education, that those are materially worse than what they could enjoy 30 years ago. And I think that this is the problem that people have. So it's not so much the relative cost. Yes, the cost of living in Lagos will be higher. But I will also make the point that what it does is to raise the bar for whoever is governing a city like Lagos. You have to realize that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that Lagos being a commercial capital, being a nerve center, generating trade, income, and taxes almost on its own steam, brings with it a responsibility of government to manage those things well. Because if government manages those things well, then these additional costs, the effects of it on the average person can be ameliorated. If they have decent means of public transportation across the state, if they have healthcare systems that are reasonable, that they can access, educational systems that they don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get in the private sector. These are the things that responsible, effective, high-performing government in a city like Lagos delivers for its citizens. So that even as the cost of living is higher here, because it's an inclusive society, people's capacity to sustain themselves and their families are also higher, and therefore they can live good standards of living.
What you've been commended for this what you've brought out, Gbadebo Rhodes before, who of course is the candidate for the Labour Party. He of course brought to light on the tweets that the legal issues, the using of government money for the defending of the governor in court and everything with all the election thing. What do you make of maintaining a healthy opposition in a state like Lagos post-election?
Well, I mean, I think it is critical. I think it is. You see, democracy will only produce the positive outcome. Democracy, by the way, we should know, is not synonymous with good outcomes for the people. It is in how you operate the democracy that will determine whether you get good outcomes or poor outcomes. And as we look across Africa, we don't see a shortage of democracies, but we see a shortage of outcomes. And so one of the critical levers for whether you get good outcomes or poor outcomes from democracy is the quality of the opposition, right? And the ability to have an opposition that engages the government. And part of the problem that we have in Nigeria is that, in Nigerian politics, is that when we have elections, somebody emerges, others don't. People go to court to challenge, and that's good and fair. And people should, if they believe that they have a mandate that's been stolen. But typically what you then see is that when that does not succeed, right, people lose interest, right, because the prize is no longer there. But the act of opposition, the act of diligent engagement of the government, reasoned, not emotional, or, emotional is good, but it cannot be purely emotional. Those things are critical and important because that way you hold the government to account. That way, whoever is in the seat cannot have a free hand. And you are, in effect, adding value to things. And, from the perspective of an opposition politician, it also gives people an opportunity to see what you stand for and who you are and how you think and what your values are and so on and so forth. So it enriches the system, it makes it more robust, and ultimately leads us to a situation where, these so-called dividends of democracy come within reach.